Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from the Automotive Rate. In this video, I will do a walk around tour of two of the most affordable crossovers in Singapore right now. The first model that I will film will be the Toyota Yaris Cross 1.5, while the second model will be the Seat Arona 1.0 TSI. The features that both have in common are subcompact size, affordable price, and similar interior space. I'll start off with the Toyota Yaris Cross with the 1.5-litre engine. Yes, this car makes 118 brake horsepower and 145 Nm of torque from the naturally aspirated 1.5-litre 12-valve inline 3-cylinder engine. While acceleration isn't this car's strong suit, it makes up for fuel economy with 20.2 km per litre for the non-hybrid version. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts and torsion beam, front and rear respectively. Three main trims will be available: 1.5X, 1.5XV, and 1.5G. Moving to exterior design, up front, the front fascia is really distinctive with an insect-like design. Coming standard on all but the base model will be LED projector beam headlights, while the base X model gets halogen projector beam ones instead. The front grille is where I think the car resembles an insect's face, and the headlights resembles the eyes. To the side profile, you will see black window surrounds, body color mirror caps and door handles, black wheel arches and the black plastic trim with the Yaris Cross nameplate stamped into it. All but the range-topping G trim gets 16-inch steel wheels with hubcaps, while the G trim gets 16-inch silver alloy wheels, with a very simple design. Round back of the Yaris Cross, the car looks just as distinctive with the full-width LED light bar that sort of extends out, some more black plastic trim to the bottom of the bumper, and the exhaust outlet is nicely tucked away under the rear bumper, giving it a very clean design. Open the rear tailgate and you get 390 litres of trunk space, which is a decent amount, but the opening is really big, which makes loading things in fairly easy. Entering the rear seats of this car, I am pleasantly surprised that the seats in this car is actually quite comfortable. I like how the cushioning is very soft, and personally, I prefer the fabric seats over the synthetic leather ones. In terms of space, I get a good amount of headroom and a decent amount of legroom, keeping in mind this is a subcompact crossover. In the front cabin of this car, material does feel cheap in some areas, but then again, this is one of the most affordable new cars on sale right now, so don't expect much. Honestly, the front seats feel just as good as the one in the back, and as mentioned, they've done a great job with the cushioning on the seat. To the center, you get a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with all the audio and aircon controls that are very easy to use. And something that surprised me is the electronic parking brake coming standard for this car, but let's take a look from the driver's side. Coming in, you will see the analog tachometer all the way to the left, speedometer, fuel gauge and water temperature all the way to the right, and the digital display front and center. A multifunctional steering wheel comes standard on the higher trims, and just like the passenger side, it is easy to find a suitable driving position for most people. Overall interior build quality up front is alright considering the price, just don't have high expectations of this car in terms of materials used. To sum up this car, I think the Yaris Cross is a really good first car. Perhaps for someone who fancy having the crossover design, and for this price, it is even more affordable than some hatchback equivalents too. If you want something that feels a little nicer on the interior, something more powerful, or something with a better design, then the Seat Arona 1.0 FR might be worth your consideration. There will be two different trims to choose from, 1.0 Style and 1.0 FR. The Style is the more affordable model, while the FR is the better looking model. Starting with the engine of this car, powering this car is the turbocharged 1-litre 12-valve inline 3-cylinder engine paired to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission and front-wheel drive. The car accelerates to 100 km per hour in 10 seconds along with a top speed of 182 km per hour. Fuel economy is definitely this car's strongest suit, although it isn't really better than the Yaris Cross with 20.2 km per litre, but the Arona gets 20 km per litre, which is still very fuel efficient. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts up front and semi-rigid axles out back. This is definitely a setup that's quite rare among subcompact crossovers. Moving to exterior design up front, the Arona has sporty yet simple looks. The body lines along the hood add a sportier vibe to this car, while the headlight housing has a very modern and sporty design added to this car. Standard for this car will be LED projector beam headlights and the honeycomb grille up front, further enhancing the sporty look of this car. Honeycomb design seems to be a common design on the front fascia of this car. It can also be found on the front grille, lower part of the front grille and surrounding the fog lights. To the side profile for this particular model, gloss black mirror caps is standard with the dual-tone roof along with roof rails, the floating roof design and body lines along the side. For the FR trim, 17-inch silver double 5-spoke alloy wheels come standard, while the Style uses the 15-inch silver multi-spoke alloy wheels. Being a crossover, the black plastic on the wheel arches also add an athletic look to this car. Round back of the Seat Arona, the rear design is really awesome. The taillights look very modern even though this made its debut for the 2017 model year. Down below, Arona is split horizontally across the rear tailgate, which is very trendy. The FR badge is also at the back with dual rectangular exhaust tips. Open the rear tailgate and you get 400 liters of cargo space, which is slightly larger than the one in the Yaris Cross, but then again, the opening is very big and wide, making loading and unloading easy. Entering the rear seats of this car, the seats are really beautiful. Instead of plain black fabric, Seat added some red and black accents to the seats. Space at the back is adequate for its size, and I get sufficient legroom and an ample amount of headroom. But the seat cushioning in this car is slightly harder as compared to the Yaris Cross. Moving to the front cabin of this car, this is where the Arona feels a lot better than the Yaris Cross. Even the door panel looks a lot better with aluminum trim, gloss black and red stitching on the pedal armrest area. The front passenger dashboard is well finished, again with red stitching. Standard for this car will be an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. What I like about this interior design is the ease to use it, and that includes the touchscreen, audio and aircon controls. In my opinion, the center console looks a lot better than the Yaris Cross, but let's take a look from the driver's side. Coming in from the driver's side, the standard gauges will be digital. Tachometer is all the way to the left, speedometer is all the way to the right, and the system is very configurable. Steering wheel design is excellent with steering mounted pedal shifters and red stitching, further continuing the sporty design to the driver's cockpit. Driving position is fairly comfortable and the overall interior build quality is adequate after considering its size and price. All in all, the Seat Arona 1.0 FR is an excellent choice if you are looking for basic transportation. The style variant costs about the same as the Yaris Cross XB, and for that price, I think the Seat is the better buy if long-term reliability isn't your first priority. With that, I'll wrap up the walk-around tour of two of the most affordable crossovers in Singapore right now. Thanks for watching.